All right, folks, welcome to another Wednesday Win Shot. I am Curtis. I am here with Joe Gonsalves. Joe, how are you doing today, sir?
Very good. Very good. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. So, this is if you haven't been watching these, if this is the first one that you're catching, these Wednesday Win Shots are where we're, Jesse and I on our channel are just kind of doing little short 10-15 minute videos on stuff that we recommend, stuff that we're really enjoying, that we think other people will enjoy too. So you're not going to see a whole lot of critiquing and negativity on any of these things. We're not doing the whole clickbaity trashing something. These are all going to be things that we love, so we're gonna have nothing but good things to say. And today we have a special one because we are doing a series, which is Halo, the series, on Paramount Plus. And this is one that was actually recommended to us by Joe Gonsalves here. So we thought it would be good to have Joe on and have him talk about it. I personally did not have a lot of background in the Halo universe, so to speak. I've only played the game like literally one time for like 5 minutes when I was in California at my son's house. So I really don't have much background on it, but Joe was speaking very highly on the series. I figured I would check it out. Kind of what we're hoping that you guys do. If you haven't watched it already, you see this and hear us talking and you check it out. And I will say, we're going to try to keep this as spoiler free as we can. I will say that without much history information that I have, I'm really enjoying the series. I think it's done really well. I think the action is good. I think the special effects are really good. And the story, it's got a good pace and it keeps you interested. They do have one season under their belt. They're starting season 2. We're a few episodes into season 2 right now. And it's just going really strong. So with that, I'll turn it over to Joe, kind of talk a little bit more about, the background history of Halo and kind of what he thinks about the series. So Joe, have at it.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah. So I was super excited for a Halo series just because I love Halo content. I'm a big fan of the games. I started playing the games very well when the original one came out on the Xbox, and my friends and I were addicted to it. We just played it and played it. The series is very different from the games. And I think that is a positive for the series. Now, for somebody like you that doesn't have the background with it, again, I think that's maybe an advantage because it is so different. I see a lot of people complaining online because it's such a departure from the games, but I think it needs to be for a television show. A game is set up really different, and you've mentioned a character that you like being your favorite character. Well, if you play the games, your favorite character is Master Chief because you're Master Chief through 6 games. There's no way that you're going to like someone else more when that's you.
Just jumping in on that real quick, that thought, because I know Jesse and I have had this discussion a lot, that I think sometimes when you're taking a property and doing it in a live action format, whether it was a cartoon, a video game, whatever, I think sometimes it actually benefits you to know less about the background because you're not so much looking forward to exactly what it was. And the example that I always use is like DC versus Marvel. So like growing up, I was a huge DC guy, like all the comics, Batman, Green Lantern, Superman, all that kind of stuff. I didn't really touch Marvel. So like when it comes to the movies, I'm very particular about the DC movies. Like when they do stuff, when you watch that Superman and Superman kills Zod and just different things throughout those, I'm like very picky about how they treat the characters, because based on my history of that character, I'm like, this is not what they would do. That's not in their personality. It's such a departure from what I know to be the core of that character. that it doesn't work. Whereas with Marvel, I really enjoyed the MCU because I had no background to compare it to. So there's been some stories where I know, I've talked to some friends that are really big Marvel Comics fans, and they're like, yeah, but that storyline in the comics was so much more detailed, and they did this and they did that. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have that frame of reference. So for me, the movie was awesome. So I hear what you're saying, and yeah, that definitely can be a benefit. For those that have played the game, like, what are the biggest kind of departures that you're talking about with this series that are, maybe some concerns, and do you have those such same concerns, or do you feel it does a good job?
So I'll start with the fact that I don't have those concerns because I
Mm,
think that I understand or went into it with an open mind
gotcha.
that games are my favorite format for for storytelling because
Mm,
I can play a game for 8 hours or 12 hours, and I'm
mm,
really invested because I'm the main character. Which when
mm,
you're watching a show, it's not the same, you know.
mm,
It can't be. So I went into it with a really open mind. I mean, one of the main things, one of the big complaints I see is that Master Chief takes off his helmet,
mm.
and in the game, Master Chief doesn't take off his helmet where you can see his face.
Gotcha. Yeah, I
I
mean,
remember seeing.
spoiler alert. Hold on. Spoiler
Oh,
alert.
I
There's
don't.
there's actually several episodes where he's not even in the suit at all. So I could see where
Right,
that would probably be a problem for some video game purist. But okay, go ahead.
right. And that, but it's a different kind of storytelling, than what you're playing in the game. So I could see where they felt like. Also, I don't know how much special effects they need to do to make that suit look right. It could
Mm,
even be a cost saving thing, which I know even some of the most popular shows like Game of Thrones, you know, had problems with their special effects budget. So it could be
mm,
just a money saving thing. That, to me, the show being its own thing and not the
mm,
video game, that doesn't take away from it for me. Um, the games are there's some deadpan humor that's in the games that's really enjoyable from the Master Chief that's
mm.
not in the show at all. He's I don't want to say more serious because the character in the game is serious, but he has
He's
like a
pretty
dad
stoic in
joke.
the series.
Yeah, he has, the game, he has a dad joke every once in a while, and in
Mm,
the series he doesn't. But it feels like its own story to me. The the
mm,
the story is very different. Already it's a huge departure. The Spartan team, Silver team that's in the show, it's Blue team in the games, and they're
mm,
completely different characters. Um, they expand on the characters' personalities more, though the other Spartans a lot more in the show.
mm.
Not that the lore is developed more, but just in that way, in that storytelling way, the show has to be more dramatic, I think, for people that aren't Halo fans, to really enjoy it. So I think that if you have an open mind, that it's a really solid, just sci-fi show.
Mm.
And if you're a fan of Halo and you go into it with an open mind, you can enjoy it because it's just a different story. It's kind of like when Marvel did the reboots, of
Mhm.
the characters where, it was Spider-Man, it was Captain America, but we're changing their origins and it's going to be different storytelling, and it that wasn't bad. It was just different. And that's how I feel about this show, that it's not bad. It's just different. And I'm really interested to see what direction they're going to go with it. Hit your spoiler thing. Uh,
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Spoiler
Uh,
alert.
in the last episode, the Arbiter was in it. Now in the video games, the Arbiter's a big character, um, but it's a title for a character in the alien race, the
Mhm.
elites. So is it going to be the same arbiter that's in the video games? Is it going to be a different one that's, going to follow the story a different way or something like that? Like, I'm really curious to see what they do with it. There's some good Easter eggs in there. I know when they were on Reach and they said something about the winter contingency, that was something from the video game where I was like, that's really cool. They said the thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Gotcha.
So, yeah. So I don't know. I've enjoyed it so far. Steven Spielberg is an executive producer. The property's owned by Microsoft. So, there's some deep pockets there, helping with the show. And so far, I really like the characters. They're different. Like Halsey, the scientist.
Yeah.
Very different than it is in the game, but I feel like it finished. So I would recommend it to be sci-fi as something to watch. But if you are a Halo purist, if you don't want to see your favorite characters in any other forms, maybe it's not for you, because it is different.
Yeah, I'll say, like, for somebody that doesn't have background like myself, I think it, like you said, it's just a great sci-fi series. If there's, kind of budgetized thing as far as like the special effects, I'm not seeing it, because like the fight scenes are amazing. I mean, you got stuff with ships flying around, you got laser blasts, you got these like laser swords, like the choreography on the fighting is awesome. The scenic shots are amazing. Yeah, it's very for a series, it's very immersive. Like, you feel like you're in it. And I will say, like, it there's times where it's kind of brutal, so just be aware. Like the first episode, I'm like, oh well, this is a video game show, so it's gonna be whatever. And like right away, like there, spoiler alert, but in the first episode, like the aliens come and like shoot some kids as they're running away, and they just like blow up, like just like and yeah, so just be aware. But I do like the character development. My favorite character, as Joe was mentioning, is one of the Spartans, named Kai. I think she's awesome. But Riz has got a good storyline, where they kind of go through the spoiler, we're in the spoiler section, but like kind of the mentality of an injured warrior that is still trying to do what they can, but maybe their best days are behind them. So I like that aspect of it. The obviously Master Chief is amazing. The guy that plays Master Chief is like really good. He's a very imposing character, and so it's believable when he's throwing people around and everything. Because even like the other people in the shots, like when he's just out of uniform and he's standing next to other people, like he towers over them. Like, this dude's like a massive dude. So yeah, it's I'm really enjoying it. So I would say, if you're like me and you don't have background, I think check it out, and you're probably going to enjoy it just as a great sci-fi series. If you're somebody that has a lot of history in Halo, like Joe, just go in it with an open mindset. Because if you go off thinking that it's going to be exactly what you know from the video games, you're probably going to be disappointed. But if you go in with an open mindset and realize it's its own kind of thing, I think you'll probably be pretty happy with it. So
yeah, I would agree with that 100%. And also, it's a war story. That's worth mentioning too. It's and this isn't a spoiler. This is just the plot of the show. An alien race wants to wipe out humanity. And so there is some pretty harsh themes, because it's a serious war story. So, but a good one, I think, and I think they're doing a good job telling it.
Well, we're right up against time. But before we close out, did you have anything else that you wanted to throw out there, Joe, for folks?
So if anybody watching this is a fan of the games, I'd love to get some people's opinions. Hit the comment section and let me know if there's anything from the game that you would like to see in the show. For example, like Sergeant Johnson or the Flood. That's me. So if you'd like to see some things, and spoilers are okay in the comments. For the game, spoilers for the game, not the show, but
yeah,
drop that in there and let's talk about what we'd like to see in the future in the game. So
yeah, and I'll even add to that. I would say, if there's something, if you're, you've played the game and stuff, and there's something in the series that is different that you like how they changed it, maybe mention that too. It'd be interesting to see what people's comments are on this. So hoping that this reaches out to even one person that hasn't heard about the series or hasn't thought about watching it and checks it out and loves it. That's really what we do this for, is try to pass on the word on things that we think are cool, and this is one of them. So
yeah,
Joe,
and if you like
go ahead.
If you like Halo, support the property, because if people don't, we're not going to get new content. So
there you go.
I want more.
There you go. Well, Joe, I appreciate you joining us. And that is it for this Wednesday Win Shot. Go watch Halo the series on Paramount Plus. Thanks, guys.